Okay, so to summarize today, I'm just gonna go over, I guess, what I'm thinking about in terms of stocks because I didn't trade anything. I didn't buy anything or short anything, and as you can see, there's no change in my balance here. I was just kind of jaded because yesterday I did have my first green day for the whole month of March, and I felt like the setups that I was looking at are just not going to be stuff that works. But it was actually kind of impressive how some of these did play out and offer some nice moves. I think BMEA was the one I was least interested in, but it did do something where it broke the day high right here, and it did uptrend, but then it had like this halt and then it sold off, so that wasn't really too nice, and I wasn't very interested in it for that reason because it did something like that. This one was the most interesting out of all of them, and that was just mainly because of the fact that this thing is known to have like these little wiki spikes, I guess, but it just didn't really do that much in terms of what it did in the day, but looking at a longer period of time, it was impressive. And then this one actually worked out the most, which I thought was going to be the one that's going to least likely do anything because of the fact that it kind of just gradually trades. Sure, it does move over a longer period of time, but I didn't think it could do anything too nice today. But this ended up being nice, and let me go over TD Immediate Trade since it's going to let me zoom in the charts and everything. It did do like a bull flag setup here. This was pretty nice, and then it broke higher, and then it did break this level right here, and it took a while for it to develop, but it did continue the uptrend and then officially break not just this level, but the top of this range while it was consolidating at 606, and that made it move as nice as the 680s. That one was pretty interesting. I didn't have an interest in this one. I did have an interest in this one because it just kind of like sold off, right? And it broke past this downtrending trend line. It kind of came back close to it, but not under it. It just didn't really have the volume for me to be interested, but it could, in theory, maybe in the future offer another spike. Maybe nothing higher than $12, perhaps $10, or of course, nothing at all if it doesn't work out. And then this one, the setup that I traded yesterday, this one worked differently today. It wasn't like a nice and steady trend line unless maybe you want to count something like this, which in that case it would be a trend line break, but it wasn't anything in the morning. It was in the middle of the day. But yeah, you can see how it kind of broke past it eventually, and that made a super nice move from 38 cents as high as 51. So that was impressive. There were just a few setups I missed in the beginning, specifically with OSCR, and then after that, I didn't really want to trade anything anymore because I don't like the um, feeling of missing out on a setup, and then I feel like if I take the next trade, am I seeing a good setup, or is it just something that I'm FOMOing because I missed out on the first one, and then the second one isn't that nice, and that this one loses. So I don't want to fall into that. It's just best to trade the setups as they show up. But yeah, I was a bit thrown off because I just felt like maybe it was just something where I had that one trade and then all the other trades I'm going to trade from now on are not going to work out. Well, that's not true. There were actually a few setups, and I hope I can be able to trade something if there is something good tomorrow, God willing. Otherwise, that's all I have for today.